Let me pose a question that may sting a bit. How much vitality have you squandered attempting to convince individuals who are indifferent that you hold significance? Reflect deeply. How often have you remained seated, device in grip, crafting a message, or seated at a gathering, outlining your grand vision, awaiting that affirmation, that rush of satisfaction that convinces you of progress before any real action has begun? We exist in an era that urges you to publicize every aspect of your existence. Post your triumphs. Post your meals. Post your efforts. Yet allow me to reveal the harsh reality few acknowledge. The majority announce their intentions because they dread the actual execution. They declare their plans because the praise mimics accomplishment. But praise is not accomplishment. Praise is an intoxicant. And each occasion you vocalize your aspirations prematurely, seeking endorsement for a goal yet unachieved, you are dissipating the exact force required to realize it. There exists a psychological basis for this pattern of defeat. When you share your intentions widely, I will launch that venture in 2026. I will shed 30 pounds. I will author that novel. Your mind secretes dopamine. It deceives you. It delivers the neurochemical prize of success without demanding the exertion, the anguish, or the commitment necessary to truly attain it. You experience satisfaction. You feel accomplished, yet you remain stationary. You stand in place, intoxicated by illusion, while the genuine effort lingers untouched in obscurity. This is precisely why you remain stagnant. This is why you sense that hollow void when the notifications cease and solitude arrives, because you have bartered your strength for fleeting notice. But 2026 requires a different approach from you. If you genuinely seek transformation, not merely a superficial refresh on decaying foundations, you must master the discipline of withdrawal. You must embrace the shadowed space. You must recognize that the most impactful action you ever take is the one no one anticipates. True strength does not proclaim itself. It does not crave spotlight. It operates without announcement. Consider the seed buried in earth. Does it cry out as it splits? Does the mighty oak demand witnesses as it extends roots through frozen soil in utter darkness? No. It develops quietly. It develops unseen. It establishes profound anchors where no eyes reach, so that when tempests arrive, and tempests will arrive, it remains steadfast. You are that seed. Yet you persistently unearth yourself to check progress. You continually expose fragile roots to the glare of external judgment before they secure. Then you question why you fade. You must cease granting others entry to your aspirations prematurely. Not all in your circle are prepared to comprehend the scale of what you intend to create. When you reveal profound ambitions to limited perspectives, they do not perceive your promise. They perceive their own constraints mirrored. They will urge caution. They will warn of danger. They will sow uncertainty in your soil because your advancement unsettles them. Your ascent illuminates their inertia. Thus, they attempt to restrain you, not from malice, but because your elevation exposes their descent. Therefore, the primary principle for 2026 is straightforward yet demanding. Seal your lips. Cease rationalizing. Cease defending your path. Cease seeking comprehension. You owe no one justification for your development. You owe no one details of your origins or destination. Those solitary hours belong solely to you. The prolonged evenings. The dawn awakenings when exhaustion pleads for rest yet ambition demands pursuit. The reversals that humbled you. All yours. When you operate quietly, you become formidable. You become unforeseeable. Others fear the unseen. They honor the unpredictable. In an environment where all broadcast every notion, the individual who guards their intentions commands the arena. Quietness is not frailty. Quietness is tactic. It is armament. It prevents rash responses. It prevents regrettable utterances. Above all, It compels confrontation with your inner self. And that confrontation unnerves you, correct? Solitude with your thoughts. We surround ourselves with sound, podcasts, melodies, infinite feeds, rumors, turmoil, because silence forces encounter with the mirror. And for many, that reflection is unfamiliar or disliked. You have invested years crafting a public facade, neglecting the authentic core. You have evaded your own gaze. But to triumph in 2026, you must cease evasion. You must confront that image and declare, I will restore this. Not for others, for myself. You must cultivate sufficient self-regard to honor commitments to yourself. How can you rely on yourself to construct greatness if you cannot rely on rising when the alert sounds? How can you demand external respect if you lack self-respect to reject indulgences, to discard diversions, to labor unseen? You are shaped by minute choices in obscurity. The universe recompenses publicly what you cultivate privately. Yet you crave public acclaim without private devotion. You desire victory without preparation. You desire renewal without surrender, but you must relinquish the former self to birth the emerging one. This concerns reclaiming command through ancient wisdom. Epictetus taught that disturbance arises not from events but from our interpretations. We suffer because we tether joy to externals, opinions, acceptance, results. Yet the ancients knew, sole dominion lies over self, judgments, deeds, integrity. Envision redirecting energy expended on others' views into your own base. Envision treating vitality as finite reserve. Each engagement in turmoil depletes. Each justification to the unworthy bankrupts. You must safeguard concentration as scarce resource. Because 2026 will inquire, are you prepared? Not merely desirous. All desire abundance, liberty, form, connection. But prepared to bear its burden? Success weighs heavily upon unprepared frames. Strength forms through opposition. Through discomfort. Greatness demands seasons of trial. You crave simplicity. You seek shortcuts. Yet simplicity yields difficulty. Rigor yields liberty. Select your difficulty. Poverty is difficult. Prosperity is difficult. Choose yours. Indiscipline is difficult. Training is difficult. Choose yours. Painful dialogues are difficult. Resentment is difficult. Choose yours. No route evades hardship. Yet hardship chosen in seclusion, the mastery of self, liberates. Contemplate photographic development. Before beauty emerges, film incubates in darkness, immersed in solutions untouched by light. Premature exposure destroys the image. You reside in that chamber presently. Perhaps isolation feels oppressive. Perhaps you sense entombment. Reframe. You are not buried. You are planted. This solitude is not rejection. It is insulation. Existence shields you during maturation. It eliminates interference. It clears counterfeit bonds. It silences clamor so you finally discern your voice. Do not flee hush. Hush harbors solutions. As wisdom states, the foolish are recognized by verbosity, the sage by restraint. In restraint, you observe. You survey the field. You detect true motives. Constant speech blinds. Silence confers advantage. It renders you wisest by collecting intelligence while others disclose. So how do we embody this for 2026? First, abandon tomorrow's deception. Tomorrow inters ambitions. January commencement. Monday initiation. No, commence immediately. Delay trains acceptance of defeat. Trains self-doubt. Become executor of instant action. Velocity of execution. Idea arises. Act silently on initial phase. No announcements. No consultations. Proceed. Second, welcome consistency's tedium. We adore cinematic surges. Yet reality lacks montage. Reality is dawn discipline in chill obscurity when reluctance dominates. Reality is repeating mundane acts until compounding yields magnificence. Third, cultivate detachment. Not emotional void, but refusal to permit externals dictate internals. Insult arrives, you remain steady. Criticism lands, you remain steady. You are not marionette. You determine response. You determine significance. This is supreme liberty. Victors possess visions so vivid nothing derails. Tunnel focus. No lateral glances at rivals or detractors. Forward gaze only, racing against potential. Such concentration alters perception. Others inquire, why so reserved? Why absent from gatherings? Why transformed? No response required. Merely smile. You comprehend unseen construction. You comprehend spectral transition from prior existence to sovereign new realm. Accept villain role in their narrative to claim hero status in yours. Accept boundaries offending others. Accept refusal without remorse. Availability is not worth indicator. Worth resides in protection, not distribution. Era of diminishment concludes. Era of supplication ends. Construct your own platform, in seclusion while others slumber. A dormant force within has slumbered excessively. Sedated by ease. Sedated by dread. Sedated by herd judgment. Awaken it, not with clamor, but murmur. Mediocrity ends. I accept suffering for desire. You possess identical hours as icons. Distinction lies in concentration. They preserve vitality. Refuse pursuit of serpents to interrogate bites. They mend and advance. Thus, forge covenant with self, covenant of restraint, of concentration. Vanish into calling. Master craft as survival demands. Forge mind, form, essence with intensity mildly alarming. When surrender tempts, and it will, when enthusiasm wanes and resolve alone sustains, recall this instant. Recall chosen warrior path. Chosen lion path, advancing quietly. Their skepticism fuels. Their ridicule ignites. Yet do not incinerate to prove. Construct grander domain. Desired outcomes lie beyond focus portal. Traverse solitary. Abandon baggage. Abandon validation craving. Abandon former self. Sufficient courage to enter? Sufficient courage for hush? Sufficient courage to wager on self against odds? If yes, if hush and concentration discovered, 2026 transcends mere year. It becomes rendezvous with destined self. Commences now, not tomorrow. Now, with resolution. Resolution to mute clamor. Resolution to mirror gaze. Only us. World roars, remain hushed. World scatters, remain centered. World feigns, remain authentic. Advance quietly. Permit triumph to proclaim. Yet endurance in hushed challenges. Ceasing performance renders space vast. In vastness, potential's magnitude confronts. Desperation repels desire. Pursuit distances. Pursuit of triumph, affection, esteem accelerates flight. Butterfly evades grasp. Yet stillness invites landing. Cultivate garden. Cultivate composure. Desired settles voluntarily. Cease pursuit. Cease supplication for unworthy seats. Operate from plenitude, not scarcity. Reach self-acceptance. I approve of myself. Not curated facade. Authentic self, with imperfections. Can you declare, I would share companionship with myself? Without self-approval, enslavement to others' views persists, views from those disliking themselves. Statistic reveals, canine prescription filled 95% likelihood. Human prescription, merely 50%. You prioritize animal welfare over own. Permit spirit starvation daily. Permit visions famine. Ingest toxins physically, mentally. Then question malaise. In 2026, regard self as entrusted charge. Accord self stranger-level courtesy. Part includes shielding vitality from serpents. Serpent strikes, mend wound. Seek aid. Do not pursue serpent. Toxin accelerates. Many pursue serpents. Workplace slight, vent weaks. Digital barb, craft retort. Bond dissolution, monitor remnants. Pursuit kills. In 2026, mend. Advance. Vengeance distracts. Supreme vengeance. Elevation rendering them inconsequential. Consumed by assent, their observation irrelevant. Genuine labor, tedious labor. Culture fixates result, abhors procedure. All crave crown, none dawn drills. All crave virality, none obscurity years. Extra margin separates. Run a ritual. Target reached. Persist precisely 22 additional seconds. Discomfort threshold breached. Mental barrier shattered. 2026 victory resides in margins. Final repetition. Additional minutes confronting void. Limits largely mental constructs. Cease equating vocal dominance with victory. Culture exalts performer. Yet subdued constructors prevail through systems. Charisma ephemeral. Competence enduring. Architect existence. Establish routines rendering triumph inevitable. Preparation equalizes. Enter prepared. Steps ahead. Silence enables perception of unspoken. Yet accept isolation. Reframe as enrichment. Solitude. Self-abundance. Icons leveraged solitude competitively. Scheduled contemplation. Inability to endure brief solitude signals enslavement to stimulation. Liberate. Adopt elevated vista. Overwhelm strikes. Ascend perspective. Problems diminish against cosmic scale. Cognitive separation. Observer of thoughts, not captive. Impression arises. Examine, not endorse. Emotions inform, not command. Destructive feelings stem from flawed judgments. Amend judgment, alter feeling. Setback arrives. Query control. Beyond control, accept. Within control, act. Transformation discomforts surroundings. You've changed. Response, hopefully. Stagnation equals decay. Elevation exposes inertia. Distance may prove necessary. Some bonds utility-based. Absence instructs. Unfought departure reveals valuation. Painful, yet liberating. Boundary, selective portal. 2026, replace locks. Cease justification, childhood remnant. Maturity owes none for ambitions, routines, drive. Refusal complete. Construct unseen routines. Dawn discipline unseen. Acquire knowledge unseen. Spectral evolution. Ego craves recognition. Suppress. Premature disclosure diminishes drive. Contain pressure. Fuel perseverance through weariness. Discipline supersedes motivation. Motivation transient. Discipline directive. Adore consistency's monotony. Compounding yields transformation. Cease consumption. Initiate creation. Claim dawn for self. Territory seized pre-invasion. Salvation self-initiated. Mirror confrontation sole criterion. Evening gaze. Maximum effort today. Or evasion. 2026. Cease evasion. Legacy transcends wealth. Exemplifies possibility. Shatters inherited limitations.